Our Democrat colleagues really love illegals in our country. It's stunning for regular Americans like me to listen to this passionate and contentious defense of the previous administration's policies and the resultant millions upon millions upon millions of illegals that entered our country over the last 4 years. I tell you where we're, I'm not going to use my colleagues' the same language because I don't think that kind of language should be used in committee. But I tell you where we heard loads of not necessarily genuine statements. It was from Secretary Mayorkas for 4 years. We had to listen to his testimony again and again, how he needed more resources, he needed more laws, and Congress had to pass more laws.
Welcome back to Right View Nation, the only channel where we call out the lies, expose the sellouts, and stand firmly for God, country, and our Constitution. If you're tired of the media protecting the radical left and covering up the truth, then grab your coffee and buckle up, because today's episode is going to make your blood boil in all the right ways. What we just witnessed was a truth bomb dropped right in the heart of the swamp. Congressman Clay Higgins didn't just pull punches. He came in swinging with the power of the American people behind him. And folks, it was glorious. Let's not sugarcoat it. Congressman Higgins said out loud what millions of Americans are thinking. The Democrat Party seems to care more about illegal immigrants than they do about the law-abiding, tax-paying citizens of this great nation. Let that sink in. We've got veterans living on the streets, families crushed under inflation, and crime surging in our communities. And what are Democrats doing? Rolling out the red carpet for illegal aliens, providing benefits, legal aid, hotel rooms, and in some cases even voting rights. And now they're angry that we're enforcing immigration laws? Are you kidding me? Clay Higgins called it exactly how it is. The Biden administration and its radical allies in Congress have allowed millions, yes, millions, of illegal immigrants to flood our southern border. And instead of admitting their failure, they attack anyone who dares to clean up their mess. But then enter someone who actually does the job, Madam Secretary.
I now recognize Mr. Higgins for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My. Our Democrat colleagues really love illegals in our country. It's stunning for regular Americans like me to listen to this passionate and contentious defense of the previous administration's policies and the resultant millions upon millions upon millions of illegals that entered our country over the last 4 years. I tell you where we're, I'm not going to use my colleagues' the same language because I don't think that kind of language should be used in committee. But I tell you where we heard loads of not necessarily genuine statements. It was from Secretary Mayorkas for 4 years. We had to listen to his testimony again and again, how he needed more resources, he needed more laws, and Congress had to pass more laws. And yet, we said for years, what you need is to enforce the laws that we currently have on the books. You need policies that would actually control the border. And we have Madam Secretary before us representing an administration that has done just that. If the same 1,954 miles of border that you had a year ago is now under control. You have the same men and women that you had a year ago, the border is now under control. You have the same equipment, the same all-weather roads. Everything is the same. The only thing that has changed is the policies coming out of the White House and a Secretary of Homeland Security that will actually execute the laws of our land and protect the citizenry of our country. That's Madam Secretary Noem who sits before us, and she should be spoken to with some modicum of respect from my Democrat colleagues. It's amazing. Our border is secured versus wide open and wild, and Democrats complain and they're angry and they protest. Illegals are being deported rather than waved in and imported, and Democrats are angry and protesting. It's stunning to Americans to witness this. Madam Secretary, thank you, good lady, for the job that you are doing, securing our borders and protecting the citizenry that we are elected to represent in this body. I work for the American citizenry, and every one of us has sworn that oath. The difference between the parties has never been more stark. We represent law and order and American citizens and American enforcement of our laws. My goodness gracious. Thank you, Madam, for so graciously enduring the assault that you have. I'd like to touch on the 287G program. Thank you for partnering with our local and state law enforcement to work together to secure our borders. This is an excellent program. You have voiced support for it. Can you speak, Madam Secretary Noem, can you speak to the importance of the DHS partnering with local and state law enforcement, including programs like 287G?
Well, thank you, Congressman. Yes, 287G has been a wonderful program for many years, but not utilized during the previous administration. It's a partnership between federal, law enforcement officers and also our state and local law enforcement to give them the same authorities to operate in a task force model, to go out and to really make sure that we're going after individuals that have broken our laws, that have perpetuated violence in our communities, bring them into incarceration and get them out of our country if they don't belong here. And it has been a fantastic partnership, one that President Trump has encouraged us to pursue and to continue to build out across the country.
Yes, ma'am. That program and others like it are going to be heavily supported by Republicans on this committee. Finally, ma'am, in my remaining 25 seconds, we speak to the efforts to locate the children. Thousands and thousands and thousands of children waved into our country during the last 4 years, and they're lost to the interior. Many are being trafficked and abused. Can you speak to the efforts to find these kids?
Yeah, up to 300,000 children were lost or missing under the Biden administration. We have located and returned over 5,000 of them to their homes and to their families, but there's many, many more to be found and to be returned and brought to safety. So we're continuing to work on that every day, and our HSI officers spend a lot of time and are the experts in the field at training local law enforcement to identify and find them as well.
Thank you, ma'am. You expect full support there, Mr. Chairman.
And I now recognize...
Mr. Chairman, before I'd ask unanimous consent to introduce the article from PBS NewsHour entitled "Children Who Are U.S. Citizens Deported Along with Foreign-Born Mothers," in which the attorney for the...
Finally, someone in Washington who believes that borders actually mean something. Higgins rightfully gave her credit, not because of politics, but because she's doing what should have been done from day one, enforcing the law. Let's get one thing straight. The equipment, the border, the agents, they didn't magically change in a year. What changed? Policy. What changed? Leadership. What changed? A willingness to stand up for the American people instead of bowing to the globalist agenda. When Secretary Noem stepped up, border enforcement finally meant something again. And Democrats hate that. Why? Because it exposes them. It shows that the open border chaos of the Biden era wasn't due to lack of resources. It was intentional. That's the truth they don't want you to hear. Democrats keep crying about compassion while ignoring the crime, the drugs, and the trafficking that come with open borders. But we know what this is really about. This isn't compassion, it's control. It's about changing the electorate. It's about weakening national identity and making us dependent on federal handouts while they replace American workers and values with chaos and confusion. And let's talk about the 287G program. That partnership between DHS and local law enforcement, that's how we secure our communities. That's how we make sure violent criminals are removed from our streets. And who supported it? Trump, Republicans, Patriots. You know who opposed it? The same Democrats crying every time ICE does its job. Now this part made me sick to my stomach. Higgins exposed something the mainstream media will never talk about, the children. Thousands of them. Lost. missing, trafficked, abused. Under the so-called compassionate Biden policies, these innocent lives were waved into our country with no plan, no tracking, no accountability. And the Biden regime lost them. Up to 300,000 children. Gone. Let that number haunt you. And while Democrats are busy protesting deportations, real Americans are asking, where are these kids? Secretary Noem revealed that over 5,000 have been located and brought to safety. But where's the outrage from the left over the rest? Where are the protests for them? Where are the tears for the children abused and trafficked under Democrat negligence? Silence, because it doesn't fit their narrative. This isn't about politics anymore. This is about protecting the very soul of our republic. Clay Higgins reminded us that we swore an oath, not to a party, not to a president, but to the Constitution and the citizens of the United States of America. We are a nation of laws, and if we don't defend our borders, we are not a nation at all. This battle is bigger than immigration. It's about sovereignty. It's about truth. It's about the future of our children and grandchildren. And if we don't push back now, we risk losing everything that makes America exceptional. So to every patriot watching, stand up. Speak out. Support leaders like Clay Higgins who have the courage to say what the rest of us are screaming at our TVs every night. Demand accountability. Demand border security. And demand that our government put Americans first. If you believe in law and order, if you believe in protecting our children, if you believe America is worth defending, then you're in the right place. Drop a comment, share this video, and hit that subscribe button. Let's make the truth louder than the lies. This is Right View Nation, where we stand unapologetically for faith, family, and freedom. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and keep fighting like a patriot. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.